The Indian National Congress held its session at Lahore in December 1929. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of this session. In this session, the Purna Swaraj or Complete Independence resolution was passed. On 26 January 1930, people took the pledge of independence. It was also decided in the Lahore session to launch the program of civil disobedience. Now let's learn about civil disobedience. The civil disobedience movement started under the leadership of Gandhiji. Civil disobedience means breaking oppressive laws by giving prior notice, and then facing the punishment for it without resistance. Salt is an essential commodity that we use every day. Still, the government had imposed a tax on salt. Therefore, Gandhiji decided to launch a salt satyagraha against this unjust tax. Next is Dandi March. On March 12, 1930, Gandhiji set out from Sabarmati Ashram with his followers on a march to Dandi Beach. The distance from Sabarmati to Dandi Beach was 385 kilometers. On the way, people from various villages joined him. Gandhiji reached Dandi on 5th April. The next day, he picked up a handful of salt on the seashore and broke the Salt Act. The Salt Satyagraha at Darshana in Gujarat was led by Sarojini Naidu. The civil disobedience movement started all over the country. People felled trees and broke the forest laws. The peasants refused to pay land revenue. Babu Genu was a mill worker in Bombay. With the tricolour in his hands, he stopped a truck carrying foreign goods by throwing himself in front of it and thus sacrificed his life for the country. In the Northwest Frontier Province, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan led the civil disobedience movement. The British government hanged Mallappa Dhanashetty, Sri Krishna Sarada, Kurban Hussain and Jagannath Shinde for participating in the Satyagraha at Solapur. A significant feature of civil disobedience movement was the active participation of women, peasants, Adivasis and the Dalits. A number of women such as Kasturba Gandhi, Avantika Bai Gokhale, Hansaben Mehta and Kamala Nehru actively participated in it. Let's study the Round Table Conference. In order to prepare a framework of political reforms to be introduced in India, 3 roundtable conferences were held in London. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar attended all the 3 conferences. The Congress did not participate in the first conference. However, in that conference, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar put forth to the British government a demand for a democratic system of government for India. He also demanded separate electorate for Dalits. Gandhiji attended the second conference as a representative of the Indian National Congress and demanded freedom for India. But the demand was not accepted by the British government. Not a single Congress representative attended the third conference. In this conference, the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald announced the communal reward. Pune Pact. By the communal award, the Dalits were given special electorates. Gandhiji started a fast unto death in the Yaroda prison against this decision. The leaders of the Congress appealed to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to reconsider the demand for a separate electorate. In the larger interest of the nation, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar accepted this request. A pact was concluded and it was decided that instead of separate electorates, the Dalits would have 148 reserved seats in the legislature. This compromise is called the Pune Pact. After the Pune Pact, Gandhiji ended his fast. Let's get more information about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Right from his childhood, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar had a liking for books and reading. He felt that books were more valuable than your close friends. He did not accept that education was only a means for getting a job. He believed that education should be used for the happiness of the common man.